Good morning. We are reading The Last Vampire, Book 3, Red Dice. And we are now starting Chapter 6. So let's begin. Okay. I am Laura Adams as I enter the casino later that night and stand beside Andrew Kane at the dice table. I am still a redhead with soft southern accent and a prim, proper smile. The name is not new to me. I used it to enroll at Mayfair High in Oregon, where I met Ray and Seymour. It's hard to believe that was less than 2 months ago. How life can change when you're a vampire on the run. Andy glances over at me and smiles. He has the dice in his hands. He has been in the casino 5 times, but already he's had a couple of drinks. Do you want to place a bet? He asks. I smile. Do you feel hot? He shakes the dice in his palm. I am hot. I remove a stack of black $100 chips from my bag and place one on the pass line. His favorite bet, 7 or 11. Andy rolls the dice. They dance over the green felt, coming to a halt. The numbers 4 and 3 smile up at us. Lucky 7. The croupier says and pays off our bets, and Andy flashes me another smile. You must be good luck, he says. I double my bet. I have a feeling this is my night, I say. By the time the dice came to me, Andy and I have lost a combined total of $800. That is about to change. With my supernatural balance and reflexes, with practice, I can roll any number I desire. I have been practicing in my suite since I returned from the compound. Carefully, I set the dice upright in my left palm, in the configuration 5 and 6. In a blur, I toss them out. They bounce happily, seemingly randomly to human eyes, but they come to a halt in the same position they started out. Andy and I each win $100 on the number 7. On the number 11. Since I threw a pass, I am invited to throw another, which I do. The people at the table like me. Most bet on the pass line. I throw 10 passes in a row before I let the dice go. We mustn't get greedy. Andy appreciates my style. What's your name? He asks. Laura Adams. What's yours? Andrew Kane. Are you alone? Are you here alone? I pout. I did come with a friend, but it seems I'll be going home alone. Andy chuckles. Not necessarily. The night's still young. It's 5 in the morning. I remind him. He nods at the glass of water I sip. Can I get you something stronger? I lean against the table. I think I need something stronger. We continue to play craps, winning better than honest wages when I am throwing the dice. The people at the table don't want me to surrender the designated high roller position, but I am careful not to appear superhuman. Just damn lucky. Andy bets heavily and wins back all the money he lost the night before, and then some. We both drink too much. I have 4 margaritas and 5 scotches and water, on top of what he had drunk before I entered. The alcohol has no effect on me. My liver neutralizes it almost the instant it enters my system. I can take in all kinds of poisons and remain undisturbed. Andy, however, is now drunk. Just the way the casinos like people. He is betting $500 a roll when I pull him away from the table. What's the matter, he protests. We're winning. You can be winning and courting disaster at the same time. Come on. Let's have some coffee. I'm buying. He stumbles and walks beside me. I've been at work all night. I'd like a steak. You shall have whatever you want. The Mirage Coffee Shop is open 24 hours a day. The menu is flexible. Andy is able to get his steak. He orders his medium rare with a baked potato. He wants a beer, but I insist he have a glass of milk. You're going to destroy your stomach, I say as we wait for our food. I do have favorite foods besides blood. I have ordered roast chicken with rice and vegetables. Surprisingly, for a vampire, I eat plenty of vegetables. Nothing is as good for the body as those fresh greens, except perhaps those dripping reds. Sitting with Andy, I become thirsty for blood as well. Before I rest, I will grab some male tourists off the streets. Show 'em a good time. That is, if I don't spend the day, sleeping beside Andy. His eyes shine as he looks me over. I can always have it removed, he replies. Why not just drink less? I'm on vacation. Where are you from? He chuckles. Here. He is serious for a moment. You know, you are one beautiful young woman, but I suppose you know that. It's always nice to hear. Where are you from? The South, Florida. I came with a boyfriend for a few days, but he got angry with me. Why? I told him I wanted to break up. I had. He's got a nasty temper. I sipped my milk, wishing I could squeeze our waitress's veins into it, add a little flavor. What about you? What do you do? I'm a mad scientist. Really? What are you mad about? You mean, what kind of scientist am I? Yes. And do you work around here? His voice takes on a garden note, even though he is still quite drunk. I'm a genetic engineer. I work for the government. They have a lab in town. I mock him playfully. Is it a top secret lab? He sits back and shrugs. They would like to keep it that way. They don't feel comfortable unless we're working outside the reach of mainstream scientists. Do I detect a note of resentment in your tone? No resentment. That's too strong a word. I have my job. It has provided me opportunities I couldn't get in the normal business world. I think what you sense is frustration. The opportunities presented in our lab are not being fully exploited. We need people of many disciplines involved from all over the world. You would like the lab to be more open, precisely, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate the need for security. He pauses, especially as of late. Interesting things are happening. He looks away and chuckles, but there is a note of sorrow in his voice. Very interesting things. He turns back to me. May I ask your personal question, Laura? By all means. How old are you? I flirt. How old do you think I am? He is genuinely puzzled. I don't know. When we were at the table, you seemed about 30, but now that we are alone together, you seem much younger. I have designed my makeup and dress to appear older. My longish white dress is conservative. I have a standard pearls around my neck. My lipstick is glossy, overdone. I wear a red scarf to match my red wig. I'm 29, I say, which is the age on my new driver's license and passport. I appreciate your compliment, however. I take care of myself. I pause. How old are you? He laughs, picking up his glass of milk. Let's just say my liver would be a lot younger if this was all I drank. Milk does a body good. He sets the glass down and stares into it. So do other things, Andy. He shakes his head. Just something that's going on at work. I can't talk about it. It would bore you anyway. He changes the subject. Where did you learn how to throw dice like that? Like what? Come on. You always throw them the same way, resting the number you want to come up on your open palm. How do you do it? I've never seen anyone who could control the bounce of the dice. I realize I went too far. He is a smart man. I remind myself. His powers of observation are keen, even when he is intoxicated. Yes, at the same time, I don't mind that he does something special in me. I have no time to cultivate his interest slowly. I must have him under my thumb by tomorrow night. It is then I plan to rescue Joel. I answer his question carefully. I have had many interesting teachers. Perhaps I could tell you about them sometime. How about now? Tonight? Tonight? The sun will be up in an hour. I don't have to be at work until it goes down. He reaches across the table and takes my hand. I like you, Laura. I mean that. He pauses. I feel like I've met you before. I shake my head, wondering if he senses the similarities between Joel and myself. We have never met, I tell him. Okay. We're on to chapter 7. We go back to his place. He offers me a drink. When I decline, he has one himself, a scotch on the rocks. The food in his stomach has sobered him up somewhat, but he quickly proceeds to get drunk again. He has a real problem, and now it is my problem as well. Granted, his intoxicated state makes his tongue loose, and he tells me far more about his work than he should, although he has yet to mention Joel or vampires. Still, I will need him clear-headed to help me. I have no time to repair his wounded psyche. I wonder what makes him drink so much. He lied when he said he didn't resent his boss. Obviously, he hates the general, but I cannot read his mind, probably because he keeps it scrambled with booze. I sense only deep emotional conflicts coupled with intellectual excitement. He is grateful to be working on Joel, analyzing his blood, and yet it bothers him that he is directly involved in the project. I have no doubt of this. We sit on the couch in the living room. He rifles through the mail and then throws it on the floor. Bills, he mutters, sipping his drink. The hardest reality of life, besides death. The way you gamble, I hope the government pays you well. He snorts softly, staring at the eastern sky, which has begun to brighten. They don't pay me what I'm worth, that's for sure. He glances at my strand of pearls. You look like you don't have to worry about money. Daddy made millions in oil before he died. I shrugged. I was his only child. He left it all to you? Every last penny. Must be nice. It is very nice. I move closer to him on the sofa, touch his knee. I have an alluring touch. I swear sometimes I could seduce an evangelist's wife as easily as I could a horny Marine. Sex holds no mystery for me, and I have no scruples. I use my body as easily as any other weapon. I add, what exactly do you do at the lab? He gestures to his office. It's in there. What's in there? He takes another swallow of scotch. My greatest discovery. I keep a model of it at home to inspire me. He burps. But right now, a fat raise would inspire me more. Even though I know what's in his office, I walk over and have a peep at the two models of the DNA, the human one and the vampiric molecule. Where are they? I ask. He's enjoying his drink too much to get up. Have you heard of DNA? Yes, of course. Graduated from college. What school did you go to? Florida State. I returned to my place on the couch, closer to him than before. I graduated with honors. What was your major? English Lit. But I took several biology classes. I know that DNA is a double helix molecule that encodes all the information necessary for life to exist. I pause. Are those models of human DNA? He sets his drink down. One of them is. What's the other one? He stretches and yawns. A project my partners and I have been working on for the last month. My blood turns cold. It was in the last month that Eddie began to produce his horde of vampiric gangbangers. Andy has been able to duplicate Arturo's vision of vampire DNA because he has been analyzing the molecules for a while, long before Joel was captured. That can only mean one of Eddie's offspring escaped my slaughter. I don't know. I destroyed your silly gang. You're not sure of that. Now I am sure. You see, I can tell when someone lies. It's one of those great gifts I possess that you don't. There's only you left, and we both know it. What of it? I can make more whenever I feel the need. Eddie admitted that there were no others. He couldn't have tricked me, yet perhaps he himself was tricked. Maybe one of his offspring had made another vampire and didn't tell him. It's the only explanation. That vampire must have been caught by the government and taken to the desert compound. I wonder if the mystery vampire to the desert compound. I wonder if the mystery vampire is still in the place. My rescue effort has just been complicated. I have to wonder if I'm already too late. Andy has, at the least, an outline of the DNA code of the vampire. How long still it be before he and his partners are able to create more bloodsuckers? The only thing that gives me hope is that the general struck me as a man who keeps everything under wraps until it is time to make his move. Andy has said as much about him. Everything connected to vampires is still probably locked up in the compound. In response to Andy's comment, I force a chuckle. Boy, do I force it. Are you making a modern Frankenstein monster? I ask, kidding, but not kidding. My question hits a nerve. For obvious reasons, and Andy sits quietly for a moment, staring at his drink, as if it were a crystal ball. We are playing a high-stakes game, he admits. Altering the DNA code of any species is like rolling the dice. You can win and you can lose. But it must be exciting to be playing such a game. He sighs. We have the wrong pit boss in charge. I put my hand on his shoulder. What's his name? What's his name? General Haver. He's a hard ass. I don't think his mother gave him a first name. At least, I don't know it. We call him General or Sir. He believes in order, performance, sacrifice, discipline, power. Andy shakes his head. He definitely doesn't create an environment for free thinking and loving cooperation. I am the understanding girlfriend. You should quit them. Andy flashes an amused, bitter grin. If I quit now, I'll be walking away from one of the greatest discoveries of modern time. Plus, I need the job. I need the money. I caress his hair. My voice is soft and seductive. You need to relax, Andy, and not think of this stupid general. Tell you what, when you get off work tomorrow, come straight to my suite. I'm staying at the Mirage, room 2134. We can play the tables and have a late dinner together. He gently takes my hand. His eyes momentarily come into focus, and I see the intellect again, feel his warmth. He is a good man, working in a bad place. Do you have to go now? He asks sadly. I lean over and kiss him on the cheek. Yes. But we'll see each other tomorrow. I sit back and wink. We'll have fun. He is pleased. You know what I like about you, Lars? What? You have a good heart. I feel I can trust you. I nod. You can trust me, Andy. You really can. Ooh, can we? All right. We are moving on to Chapter 8. One of the saddest stories told in modern literature, to me at least, is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, because, in a sense, I am that monster, knowing or unknowingly, to much of history. I am the inspiration of nightmares. I am the primeval fear, something dead come to life, or better yet, and more accurate, something that refuses to die. Yet I consider myself more human than Shelley's creation, more humane than Arturo's offspring. I am a monster, but I can also love deeply, yet even my love for Arturo cannot spare him from plunging us into a nightmare from which there seemed to be no waking. His secret transformation was very simple and profound beyond belief. It is fashionable among New Age adherents to use crystals to develop higher states of consciousness. What most of these people do not know is that a crystal is merely an amplifier, and that has to be used very carefully. Whatever is present in the aura of the person, in the psychic field, gets magnified. Hate can be boosted as easily as compassion. In fact, cruel emotions expand more easily when given the chance. Arturo had an intuitive sense of the proper crystal to use with each person. Indeed, on most people he refused to use crystals at all. Few, he said, were ready for such high vibrations. How tragic it was that when he had a vial of my blood in his hand, his intuition deserted him. It is a pity his special genius did not leave him as well. It took a genius to take us as far as he did. A mad one. Using the magnets and copper sheets in his secret geometric arrangement, the vibrations from whatever Arturo placed over the person were transmitted into the aura. For example, when he placed a clear quartz crystal above my head, a deep, peaceful state settled in my mind. Yet, if he used similar crystal with young Ralph, the boy would become irritated. Ralph had too much going on in his mind and was not ready for crystals. Arturo understood that. He was an alchemist in the truest sense of the word. He could transform what could not be changed, souls as well as bodies. Arturo did not believe the body created the mind. He felt it was the other way around, and I believe he was correct. When he altered an aura, he changed the person's psychology, physiology as well. He just needed the proper materials, he said, to change anything. A flawed human into a glorious god, a sterile vampire into a loving mother. It was in the end the chance to become human again that caused me to give him my blood. To hold my daughter in my hands again. What ecstasy! I was seduced by ancient griefs. Yaksha made me pay dearly for my immortality. With the loss of Rama and Lalita, Arturo promised to give me back half of what had been stolen. It had been over 4,000 years. Half seemed better than nothing. As I left my blood drip into the gold communion chalice for Arturo, I prayed to Krishna to bless it. I am not breaking my vow to you, I whispered, not believing my own words. I am just trying to break this curse. I did not know, as I prayed to my God, that Arturo was also praying to his, to allow him to convert human and vampiric blood into the saving fluid of Jesus Christ. Genius may make a person a fanatic. I don't know, but I do know that a fanatic will never listen to anything other than his own dreams. Arturo was soft and kind, warm and loving, yet he was convinced he had a great destiny. Hitler thought the same. Both wanted something nature had never granted. The perfect being, and I, the ancient monster, just wanted a child. Arturo and I. We should never have met. But perhaps our meeting was destined. My blood looked so dark in the chalice. The sacredness of the chalice did nothing to dispel my gloom. Arturo wanted to place my blood above the head of select humans, to merge the vibration of my immortal pattern into that of a mortal. If he changed the aura, he said, the body would be transformed. He, of all people, should have known how potent my blood was. He had stared deep into my eyes. He should have known my will would not bend easily to the will of another. You will not put the blood in their veins? I asked as I handed him the chalice. He shook his head. Never, he promised. Your God and my God are the same. Your vow will remain unbroken. I am not fooling myself, I said quietly. I have broken a portion of it. I moved close to him. I do this for you. He touched me. Then he rarely did. Before that night, it was hard for him to feel my flesh and not burn. You do this for yourself as well, he said. I love to stare deeply into his eyes. That is true. But as I do this, for you as well as for myself. You must do likewise. I wanted to draw back, but he only came closer. What do you mean? I kissed him then, for the first time on the cheek. You have to break your vow. You have to make love to me. His eyes were round. I can't. My wife is dedicated to Christ. I did not smile. I did not smile. His words were not funny, but tragic. The sea to all that was to follow was hidden inside them. I have to stop. Okay. We will continue reading Red Dice, The Last Vampire, tomorrow. And now it is time for self-promotion time. I am the YA horror author of Vampire Juice. It is a mystery. It is a horror mystery adventure with teen romance and a splash with teen romance. Yeah, that's about it. It's spooky and creepy, like Fear Street, like The Lost Boys, like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Alright, and here is a review from Amazon. Title is A Nice YA Horror Read. When shopping for a costume for a Halloween, Sean stumbles upon something called Vampire Juice. The clerk was acting real weird about it. What is big about it? What is it anyways? To find out, he and his friend go through a dark cemetery and a tunnel. That is a little confusing. They definitely run into some creepy things along the way. Of course, things get even creepier with the vampire juice. It's a whirlwind, wild and crazy events. You can kind of see a little bit of a similar style to R.L. Stine's Goosebumps, a series I've loved and continue to love. The best parts were actual vampire scenes in the end. I figured somebody was going to turn into a vampire. A nice YA horror read. Alright, my link is in the bio. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow on another episode of Red Dice.